going on, guys? Welcome back to our new Let's Play series here on the Java multiplayer server. Yep, it's been about 2 or 3 days since I've done any recording. As you could probably tell, we've got rid of our sand shack, and that was because it was just way too small. It was able to hold like 4 chests in, so outgrew it very quickly. So I just dug like a little cubby hole, and we've got it sort of decorated in a sort of Moroccan / Mediterranean feel to it, considering that we're surrounded with the orange clay. We've got a few more of the heads. Most of them are aqua based because that's primarily where I've been spending most of my time. We've got a little smelter system set up for the kelp just to make fuel, so then we can continuously smelt stuff that we need. I've done a whole bunch of mining in between episodes and got a whole bunch of goodies, and I've actually prepared quite a lot of bits and pieces in the sort of preparation for today's episode. Hopefully, fingers crossed anyway. But where we left off on the last one is we were trying to sort out the Heart of the Sea. Now I've actually managed to get a few more of them, and that is from mainly looting and whatnot, trying to find a place to actually call home. And I think I've managed to find one. What was I doing there? I was actually about to get the Nautilus shells. And the Nautilus shells I managed to grab off of Mac. He was kind enough to sort us out with them, because he had an AFK fisher, but I think he's torn it down because I think they're just stupidly OP, to be honest with you. So I definitely won't be venturing down that path in this Let's Play, because it sort of ruins the early game, I reckon, if you just get continuous XP and continuous food and continuous enchanted books and rods and bows. It's just, I think the AFK fishers are way too overpowered, and as much as they've tried to nerf it and disable it from happening, I think it's pretty hard for them to do so without actually getting rid of fishing altogether. So yeah, just one of them things, but we're just going to be avoiding that. We've got our trusty steed. I've not given him a name yet. Have I got a name tag? I don't think it matters if I have, because I haven't got an anvil. I've got a few name tags, but no anvil. So when I go over to the skelly spawner, which is where I've been getting all of my levels from, thanks to Mackie, set up a double skelly spawner, and we've got quite a few decent enchanted tools and a few bits of armor that I've enchanted. Like I've got the respiration on the helmet with aqua affinity, depth stride on the boots, and I've got a few more picks ready to actually go and enchant soon. But I thought to start our day off, we're going to head over to where I believe we're going to actually have our main base set up. We are still going to be visiting back here because I've got a project lined up that I actually want to do just over there. So what we'll do, the place that I want to go is about another 3,500 blocks away. And I actually created the little Nether tunnel. My first excursion into Nether did not go brilliantly. I actually fell to my death on my first little excursion, but we managed to set up a little portal, and it's only like a 300 block sort of run down this way, I think. So I guess I'll meet you at the other end. Alright then, guys, so we're over here on our little island, and this is the closest warm ocean. And if you didn't know, warm oceans are the only ones, I think it's mildly warm, or what sort of warm is it? If we bring up F3, that's the beach. It is lukewarm oceans is what spawns the coral reefs. And as you can see, surrounding this one little island, let's get rid of the F3 because I know how annoying it is. Also, by the way, I've got the coordinates at the bottom middle of my screen. If that bugs you for any reason, let me know and I will just take them off. It's just that I'm so used to having coordinates on my screen from playing the Bedrock edition that it's sort of just second nature for me to have that information up and viewable at all times. And I know probably in the last episode I probably had this stupid F3 screen up for quite a lot of it, and that's because I'm just so used to having coordinates and whatnot on the screen. Just that allows me to navigate where I'm going and whatnot. But yeah, if it does annoy you, let me know and I'll disable them. But as you can see, this one little island is completely surrounded by coral reef, and I thought it's an absolutely beautiful spot to actually start our base. Now I know that I want to do the majority of my base underneath the water. I have no idea what sort of build style or anything yet. We have actually got a shipwreck there, like right next to the island as well. Excuse me. And then I've actually looted that shipwreck and got the treasure map, found the treasure, which is primarily where I've been getting most of my diamonds from, is by doing the treasure hunting, which isn't too bad, I guess. Oh my god, my voice is croaky this morning. It's very early for me to be talking, I'll give you that. Nope. Excuse me, I keep on having a coughing fit. I'm getting over like a 2 week bug that I had over the Christmas period and sort of just landed on my chest, unfortunately, which has given me a very low and gravelly sort of toned voice lately, which I'm not overly enjoying, especially when it's entering into a coughing fit. Now, I'm running around like an absolute lunatic. What I did want to do is actually make a crafting table in order to make a conduit. I don't know if it's 4 or 8 Nautilus shelves around it, so let's try 4. No, it must be 8 all the way around. Yeah, so there we go. We now have our conduits. Where do we want to set up our first one? So I'm fairly sure we're going to want to set up 4 around this island, 1 in each cardinal direction. So you've got north, east, south, and then west. I think this side first of all, because we've got a nice big spot over here, and I'm planning on doing like a center build around each one of these. So bear with me, because it's obviously not going to be getting done right now or in today's episode, because I've got other plans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and luckily we've got the respiration and whatnot on our helmet and depth strider on our boots. I want to whack this guy in the middle here, and then another one of you there, just so we can line everything up. And then it's just a case of wrapping this thing around and up, and that should actually be enough for the first one, but I think it's getting blocked by the wood. So if we now get rid of you, let's get our axe on hand, do one of them, do one of them. That should now become active on the first tier. And yeah, I've actually added a few of the vanilla tweaks by Exuma, and I'm actually quite liking them. The only one that I'm not too sure about is the enchanting glint. Like, they don't constantly glow, you just get this glint that sort of waves over the item. So yeah, I'm not too sure how much I like that, but otherwise the rest of them I actually really like. Like, I've got the partial side blocks. So the grass is, it doesn't come all the way down, it just comes down to the very end, and it just, I think when it's a big field of it, it looks a lot nicer, especially with the snow and mycelium. And then I've also got the clear water, so obviously with us being working underneath the water so much in this series, which I'm planning on doing, I actually wanted to have clear water. That plus the night vision of the conduit is going to be extremely helpful. And then that should now be a full tier. Happy days. So then we get like the haze, and this thing goes, I think it's like 96 blocks in each direction around it, that we can then breathe and swim around. And we've got the beautiful scenery all the way around our island. And I think after having 4 of these, this should cover the majority of the outskirts. Oh, I didn't even realise it was night time. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with this. We do need to get a bunch more Prismarine, which means another visit over to the monument to take on the other 2 Elder Guardians, which is what I probably should have saved that conduit for, to be honest with you. But I can make another one, and I'll take that over there, and I'll do that in between episodes, because I think you had enough of watching me die numerous times in that monument. That was not fun for me. Definitely, it probably wasn't fun for you. It's just like a death screen every 12 seconds. But we've got the thing, so yeah, this is where we're going to be set up base. Once I've decided on a build style, we'll definitely get cracking on stuff over here, but I'm still trying to work out block palettes, and probably in the beginning of the next episode I'll run you through different block palettes that I'm thinking of and whatnot, just so we get an idea of the type of build style we're going to be going for. But today's project is actually going to be a combination of a little bit redstone. I knew this was going to happen. I've got 2 portals, because I built this one and then I built another one higher up, but I don't really want to do it. Let's just go back through this for a second, because I've got no building blocks on me to get back up. So you know what, I'm just going to go by boat, and when I go through I'll go down and break the other one. Which way is it? I do believe it is this way. Yeah. It's just complete ocean, by the way, from here to our sort of temporary base. I need to fix the nether portals on the other side, and I'll do that in between cuts. Yeah, today's project is a little bit redstoney, and it's going to be based around the bees, because I didn't even do anything with the bees in the Bedrock edition, and I've been really itching to actually do something with them, and I really want to play with the honey blocks. And I've tested a few different designs with an S at the end, please. I've tested a few different designs that I've sort of mocked up in a test world. You know what? Let's see if this one's got a treasure map in. It'd be rude not to. Hello. Some iron. Don't say no to that. Is there anything else in here? How have I managed to get stuck? Oh, Lord knows. There we go. Yeah, I've tested a few different designs in a creative world, and I've got a sort of working concept for an auto honey farm, which I'm quite happy with. So I will be... Come on, today. Thank you. Treasure map. So I will be testing... Well, not testing. I will be starting working on that very shortly. So what I'm going to do is, as long as this isn't one that I've already got, which I don't think it is, I'm going to head over to this, grab this, and then I'll meet you back over at our temporary base over in the Badlands. So yeah, catch you back in a sec. So back at base here now, and that buried treasure was actually one that I had already gotten before, so nothing new there, but we did get a few bits of iron out of it. Now this is where I've been keeping our bees for the time being, and I've been breeding them and then harvesting the honeycomb in order to make the artificial beehives. So the normal ones I actually got from growing trees in the 5-block radius around flowers, and they just have a 5% chance of spawning. So yeah, we've been breeding these guys up underneath here just to make sure that there's a good few once we get them up to where we need them. And I'm still going to have to breed them quite a bit when I've actually moved all the hives. But what I want to do on camera with you guys is actually build one of the segments. But in order to do that, I'm going to need a bunch of the materials that we've got at hand. So barrels, comparators, repeaters, we want redstone. The rails aren't going to be necessary. The dispensers, I made a whole stack over at the skelly spawner because there's just untold amounts of bows and arrows there. I also got a decent bow made up, so I've got like power 5, unbreaking 3, infinity and punch 2. I just need to get flaming on it for it to be really good. But yeah, that's what we've got there at the moment. You know what, have we got the makings to actually make another bed? Because each time I go up there it gets very, very dangerous. No, but you know what? Just in case, just so we can sleep away the night up there, I'm going to take this bed with me. Wait, can I get up the stairs? Yeah, we've got a bed on us. I thought I may have dropped it there. Let me head on over. And if you're thinking about the 3D items in my hand and in the hotbar, like the images of the hoppers, that's also one of the vanilla tweak things. I can show you as well that it does it for doors and ladders. You can... I really like the way that Zoom has done it because you can sort of pick and choose the adjustments and the tweaks that you want. Like I've got the directional hoppers as well. So if we were to put a hopper down, it will show you the arrow, so that way you don't get confused as to which way the hoppers are facing. And then as you can see, the ladder's like got a little bit of a 3D effect. The same happens with the rails, and it makes the minecart rails look really, really good. So I'm looking forward to actually doing quite a bit with rails in this sort of Let's Play. Mainly because I've really liked the rails, but once you get elytra and rockets, it tends to be a bit of an obsolete transportation method. And if you're wondering how the hell have I got a beacon already, it's not mine. Steak and Noodles is on the server, and the first thing he went and done was got a beacon for some reason. So I've managed to nick it off of him just to clear out a little area over here. And by clear out I mean flatten, and I've also got a little bit of a cubby hole underneath. So if we do this, now initially I was going to lay it out with 25 beehives, but after doing some testing it just wasn't going to work out correctly doing it that way. But we are actually probably going to have to clear a little bit more room underneath here, to be honest with you. And I really need efficiency 5 to get the insta-mine with the haste 1. How can I do this? You know what, first of all, let's just clear a little bit more room. So let's get our shovel on hand. Oh, I just want to clear a few lines. Because what we're going to want to do is 10 of the units that I'm about to build. I spy. I'm assuming she's got an ender eye, or an eye of ender, should I say. Here we go. And let's grab these, because that's a little bit of a hot commodity for me at the moment. I don't want to go losing a bunch of it. Do that, and we're also going to want some building blocks just to put our redstone on, but we want it sort of to stand out and differentiated from the rest of the blocks in the area. So what have we got in here that we can play with? You know what, white terracotta seems like a good shout. There we go. We can put our redstone on that. I've also got it so the redstone is sort of cables rather than the dust. I just like the look of it. It looks a lot more neater and a lot more polished. Now, if we were to say this is our hive, and we're going to want the hive on this level here, so is that going to be enough room? 1, 2, 3. Probably going to have to get one more line out of the way. Like so. Start off over here, and we're going to want it at least be one gap away from there, so let's do one of these, and then we're going to want to just bring up the hive to here. That's going to be our first hive, and then our first hive. So what we're going to want to do is that goes there, which means we're going to want our dispenser directly underneath that. So we're just going to need a temporary block. Do one of those. And then I'm gonna want, you know, I can actually move you for a second, can't I? Do that. The dispenser's going to be facing up into the hive, and you probably know if you've played with bees, you can use the dispensers for automatically getting the honey and honeycomb out. Now, to get the honey out, you need empty bottles in it, but if you fill the dispenser completely with blocks or empty bottles, it won't actually contain the honey. But if there's an empty slot in the dispenser with empty bottles, when it takes out the honey will actually go into the dispenser. So what we're going to be doing is just filtering out the honey from the dispenser. So we're going to want that as our filter line, and then we're going to want a chesticle, and instead of chests we're just going to be using barrels because I really like the look of the barrels. So yeah, that's why we do one of them. And then we're going to want to just clear out a little bit more room. And then I do believe it's like a 5x2 sort of area. So if we just clear this little section. Thank you. Do one of them. And then we're going to want our filter on the back of here. So let's go like so. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to want one there, one there. I do believe this is all correct. And then we're going to want redstone torch. That's going to lock the hopper. Then we're going to want our repeater, like so. And then we're going to want our comparator just up here. And then it's just a bog standard impulse SV filter. But what we're going to be doing is utilizing it for 16 items. So this is going to be our filter line. And if we just do that for now, just as a placeholder. Actually, we're not going to want to use that. We're going to want to use something that's not going to accidentally drop in there. So let's just use red for the time being, because I'm going to be building with the white. I don't want that to be there. And then from the beehive, we're actually going to want to run another line. So we say that goes there. And man, I need some room. Do one of these. So that will be coming. That's 1, 1, 2. Then it's like 3. And then we're going to want a block at the side here, block at the edge there. I'm going to want to do one of these. So what we're doing is that the beehive's going to be here, and we're going to have a comparator coming off of the beehive. And then from there, we're going to be running 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So we don't need this little end section. That's just overestimation on my part. So what happens is when the beehive's full enough for it to be harvested with the dispenser, it will output a signal strength of 5 from the comparator. So it will reach this block, activate the dispenser for it to then harvest. And then just to separate that line from joining in the middle, we can just place some blocks on it. So we just go one of them there and one of them there. So then it will just be a straight line of 5. And that's pretty much it. I did bring my bed here purposely for this reason. But you managed to get that one little segment built, within about 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, which isn't too bad. And pretty much I've just got to build 10 of them on this side, 10 of them on the other side, which means just a little bit more clearing out, and it's very contained and very simple. And once it's ready, we're just going to have the beehive here. And the reason that I've built it this way is so that we can have it looking aesthetically nice. So we're just going to have the beehive here. So from the front, you're only going to be able to see the beehive. All of the redstone at the back, I'm just going to sort of hide in some sort of terrain or some sort of building mechanics around that sort of area. But yeah, I've got another 19 of these to build, and then I'm thinking of building a honeycomb automatic one in the center. So I need to try fit 10 of these along there somehow, which means a little bit more clearing out for me and a lot more building, but I should have all the resources at hand that I need. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to crack on and get all 20 of these units filled out, and then I'll bring you back once we're ready to start working on the honeycomb section. So yeah, catch you back in a bit. Alright then guys, so it's been a good few hours now, and I've managed to get all 20 of the units for the honey automation up and sort of running. Obviously none of the beehives are in yet, because I actually want to put a border around just to prevent the bees from flying off. And I'm going to place one beehive down first to see if the barrier that I'm going to put up, that I want to put up, is going to be enough to stop them from veering out, because the last thing I want is for them to go bumbling off and fall down the edge of here, because they'll never end up getting their way back up. And worst comes to worst, if the first set of bees do wander off, I can just whack a roof on it, but I don't know if I want to do like a half slab roof, which means I'd have to light underneath with torches or something, or I would do a sort of glass arch stone above it, but I'd need a bunch more glass than what I've got at hand at the moment. Now regarding the, is it honeycomb that you get from using the shears in dispensers, what we've got, actually I can show you better from up top, is that in the center we've got double spots for these guys. I need to get some more hives for these as well, so I've only got 25 hives and I've got 30 spots that need filling. So we've got double spots here. These dispensers are going to be holding the shears, and then they're going to be activated from torch towers from underneath. And then what we're going to have is have a hopper minecart underneath doing sort of zigzags around these spots. So when the honeycombs go flying off whichever way they go, hopefully, fingers crossed, they will get picked up by the hopper minecart that I'm going to have running underneath. Can we just bust one of these bits of dirt? I'm fed up of having to run all the way around. So the plan for the decoration side of things, quickly have something to eat, yum yum. So we want to say do these, but we want this to actually do in a pattern, and Mac, the one who's managing the server, has added this thing as well, which is meant to, oh, I don't know how you're meant to use this. It's meant to be some type of wrench thing that you're meant to be able to use. Just throw them for a second. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. How do we want it? I think it's like, oh, I think that was right. There we go. Can I get my torches back, please? Okay, I'm going to have to put some stuff away. So we're going to have that in the little gaps in between, and then we're going to have, obviously, a border up top. So I'm thinking of doing acacia fencing, going probably 3 higher than this. And then we can probably have the acacia logs as our corner pieces. So I'll have it going from there, then 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll have them in each of the corners with the fencing, and then this thing going along as the like bottom hand border is what I think should look fairly decent. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all of this fencing in place and get the hopper minecart, because it's a very basic, simple setup for the center ones. I don't really think it's going to be all that interesting watching me do it. But I'm quite happy with the way that all of these look proper nice, all like laid out as they are. Neat redstone cabling, very OCD friendly. And underneath, obviously, there's going to be a little bit of manual work into this farm, like refilling the dispensers. So we've got to make sure that we've got spots in order to be able to get to access to them, which we have done. And then the dispensers in the middle we've got access to for adding more shears. Now you can fully automate the honey collection by whacking a hopper into here and feeding it into another hopper chain, but to be honest with you, after filling them with a couple of stacks of bottles each time, I'm not planning on doing immense amounts of AFKing over here just to get honey blocks. But in order, well, I'd be happy to have this farm up and running if and when I do want the honey or honeycomb blocks. And we just need to sort out the filters when the... Oh my god, what sort of accent was that came out? The filters, as soon as we start getting the honey bottles, we can put a honey bottle into the filter to make sure that one's getting filtered through. And I think you need a buffer of about 9 honey bottles before they actually start filtering through. So it's going to be a little bit, and I need to get the glass together in order to make the bottles. But this video is going to be dragging on very long if I carry on talking so much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to crack on, get the actual borders done, and try to figure out what I want to do with the back end of these things. I don't know if I want to leave them open or glass them up or do some sort of terrain around them, but yeah, that's something for me to figure out while I'm sort of doing the cosmetic side of things, just running the board around. So yeah, I guess I'll catch you back in another bit. Alright then guys, I've got most of the cosmetic stuff all done. I've got most of the redstone stuff all polished off and done. So what we've got is, ignore the oak wood, that's just where the beehive's meant to be going. So we've got the acacia fencing in between the posts, we've got a couple of doors in order to get up and down, or up and down, I was about to say that for that one, in and out. We've got a trapdoor down here which leads to underneath, which is our maintenance area. So we've got the track sort of zigzagging in and out with the hopper minecart set on a hopper clock with a monostable circuit, just so it sends a 1 light to, or extended its 2 tick pulse, just so then it can activate all the dispensers that have the shears in order to get the honeycomb. And then hopper minecart, pick it up and do its route going back. So I'll probably give you a demonstration, but I've actually extended it. So if we knock that down, we do one of them, and then it'll tick straight back over. Now I can show you what it does. And I swear there's like 2 items. There we go. So it activates all the dispensers. That will harvest all the honeycomb. Hopper minecart should, fingers crossed, pick it all up, and then it'll do its rounds going back. And it will zigzag, but I'm going to have it on around about a 4 or 5 minute timer, because obviously we don't need it going off every other second like that. So let's whack this wood back in there. Happy days there, and I think we are about ready to test out the beehives just to see if they do end up flying off somewhere. Now I'm hoping that one I put down is actually going to have bees in. There we go. Got 3 bees in there. I think that automatically got harvested because it sent a signal, but this is what I'm worried about, the bees just flying off. But they seem to have all come back and back into the hive. So what we're going to have to do with each one that we do, we're going to have to set the... where am I going? We're going to have to set the filter. So that one is, what number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And then we can come back here. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one should now have a honey bottle in, and then we're just going to swap out the filter for there. And then what will happen, that will filter out the honey, and then when I think there's like 7 or 8 of them, that will then start filtering into our barrel. Which is all happy days there. It's just I'm a little bit concerned about the bees flying off as well. Did not mean to fall down there. Just want to make sure that they're not just ducking off anywhere. I can hear them. I don't know if that's just coming from the hive or not. I think we can probably get a better idea if we do a few of them. So let's just do this end. Like so. So I'm not too sure if I'm keen on the combination of normal hives and man-made ones. And like so. Hello bees. And what we're going to want to do is actually breed these guys up as well. Yay, babby bees. Because I know that some of the hives only have maybe 2 or 3 in. See, this is what I'm worried about. Where's he going? And that one's, look, he's just shot off somewhere. If they come back, then I'm fine, but I'm more worried about them just getting lost down there. Did he come back? I think he may have come back. Where are you going? Yeah. Oh. I'm not too sure. They look like they're coming back though. because there's no other really, well, abundant of flowers. You've got a few down there, but I can't see them pathfinding all the way over to them. And this one seems to have come back, and I wanted it to be a free range one, so I did want them sort of jumping around and buzzing about everywhere, but I don't want them veering too far off that they don't end up coming back. You know what, I'm just gonna go full throttle and do all of these. Just so I can set the filters on them as well. And that way I don't have to worry about them. And I'm sure that we'll figure out if they're coming back or not if we end up having no bees. So it's not too difficult to get the new beehives. Well, that one ain't coming back because he's going to be stuck down there now. Well, more fool him. We've breed up some more anyway. Thank you. Okay. They're all happy. We've got some baby bees. Oh, don't want to get that out. Hopefully the baby bee finds its hive. And then what side have we got them on? So we get a few more hives. Oh. This side. That. And do that. See, that one's not even got a bee in. We've got some more hives down below for the other side anyway. But I'd much prefer to put them down when it's night time, when all the bees are sort of in their thing, and then sleep away the night to make them all come out, because we've definitely got a bee somewhere down here. But yeah, I'm going to go through, and when it gets to night time, I'm going to lay down the rest of them hives. I've just got to go through and do all of these filters now, so it's not very fun or entertaining me watching me do it, so I'm just going to bring you back after I've got all the filters and the other hives down. Okay, got all the hives down. Haven't done filters on the right hand side yet, so I've still got to go do that. But one issue I'm running into is this. Not too sure, the honeycomb just seems to be shooting much further away than what I thought they were going to be shooting. Which is unfortunate, because that's 15 so far. I don't know how many it's picked up, because very few of them are dropping. So what I may end up having to do is do like a little fencing around the central bit, just to stop them from flying out everywhere. But we're about to sleep away the night and make all the bees come out. Where's my bed? Yeah, Steak wanted me to sleep. I think he's getting into a spot of bother. Oh yeah, look at all of these bees. Okay, now we're going to go crazy and just draw them all to me, because we're going to want to breed them. Just spam, 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 spam. Okay, this would probably be my absolute worst nightmare in real life, if I just got swarmed by this many bees. But yeah, I think that's enough gone. Everyone go back to your little things. Okay, so how many did this other thing actually pick up? Please tell me it picked up some. It didn't even pick up any. My god. Yeah, so I think we're going to have to sort of fence them in just to prevent them from flying out so far. Which I really didn't fancy doing, because it will take away from the sort of aesthetics of it. But, you know, it can't be helped sometimes. Invisible spider? Sure, why not? Fences. I don't know if only a one high fence will be enough to stop it, because it did seem to fling out pretty high up. And what we're going to want to do is just do... Okay, none of them had honeycomb in that time. Excuse me. We just run single line fence. Guys, come on now. It's just in the way. We do something like that. the nicest thing in the world, but I'm sort of lost as to what to about the central ones. Sorry, mate. Can I just nudge you back around this way, so then you can pathfind back to there? There you go. And you, come on. And there. I'll see if that does the trick, but I don't know if it is or not. Because they were flying out. It was either landing miles out here or dead center, which means I may have to put some fences there. But yeah, other than that, I think it's doing alright. I haven't seen bees veer off too far, and whenever they have, they've always ended up flying back. So their pathfinding seems to be restricted to where the actual colonies, should I say. Is it a colony of bees? I don't know, but yeah, colony. But I'm quite happy with the way it's looking, and we've got a bunch of busy bees now doing their job. I still need to do all the filters for the right hand side before they start getting messed up. But we're getting honeycomb, just hopefully I can sort out for it to start being collected automatically. But other than that, I think we've definitely run out of time for the video today. Whoa, kidulks. Get the bow. Yeah, good job on. Oh, come on, really? What's the odds of that? This one's landed on top. Which means I'm going to have to stick something on top of them as well. Yeah, I guess I'll try to figure out something for that as well then. I guess another... I know that I'm going to run into a few issues. Either bees wandering off too far, honeycombs being collected, but as long as the actual honey part of it's working, I'm just more worried about these bees. They seem to be veering off pretty far. Right, we've got one that's just ducked off all the way over there. I don't know if he's ever going to come back. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it for the next couple of hours, see how it goes, and if I need to make changes I will. But yeah, that's going to do it for me today, and I know this video has gone on way too long, because I've been far too preoccupied, and I seem to speak an awful lot. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed the video anyway, and hopefully I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.